Welcome in, welcome in. How's everybody's night going? Hope it's going alright for everybody. What's going on, Fat Cat? What's going on, Alan? I figured if people were bored. I was. I was like, well, I'll go and get them on board. Yeah, I just randomly did it. What y'all up to tonight? Hey, Karen, Fat Cat, hello. Make sure everybody can hear me. I don't have my mic in, so it's been acting funny. I don't know why, but it's hot up here, but it's hot. It's not really hot, it's just humid. How was work? Rest of work? Alan? Nah, just up here doing. Figured everybody was bored, seeing what they were up to. Storming here. Dang. Dang. Hey, at least you're getting a little rain. Yeah. Hey, at least you got to do some stuff today. Yeah, it got about 100 here today, I reckon. Low 80s. I know it's been almost 100 here. I know I've mowed that yard after I got on top of you for a bit. I mowed it and got done. Come back and went to the bank and come back and next week, dang, we already had our cold days early, which was, I think the mornings we woke up at 65 and like almost 80 there. Hey, Miss Turner, how's it going? How's your night? How were you feeling? Mary's Miss T's bestie. Yeah, I read that. I read the chat the other day. It was pretty funny. Streamlabs wasn't loaded. Glitched out 3 times. So I just went normal. Hmm. Fat Cat's bestie. Yeah. Nah. I'll probably go Saturday live instead of Sunday. I'll probably go Saturday instead of Sunday. Unless you guys like Sundays. I know some people's coming in, some people's not, but I mean, I know some people's busy, but I don't know. Thanks, Karen. But yeah, I'll probably getting pretty antsy on fixing this up here. Putting the fishing stuff up here. I don't know. Thank you, Karen. I'm going to try Saturday. Nice, nice. I'll be there. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the Sunday afternoons. It's not so many people could be there. I know we're having to wait, but I know some of the places around here are not, the freshwater areas are not big enough to fish in. They're big enough, but it wouldn't be no sense to going down there trying to do a 5 hour live in a little bitty area. I can only catch so much there, so there's only so much bites. I do want to get up to that river though and fish. That's gonna be soon. I want to get out to that other spot. I know it's kind of repetitive on the same spot, same stuff caught, but like I said, I'm trying to wait for that spot to nobody to fish it, so it'll become more active. I'm still gonna take the John boat and stuff. So it's gonna take a bit. Yeah. For anybody that does miss the lives or ain't have time to see the fish, I do post them as shorts for everybody to see. So. Yeah. See, I can either go down to the bay or the bridges or there as the brackish water. I mean, I can hit a little small spot there, which it'll be risky. The channel waves are only so big. Trying to fish out of the kayaks and trying to catch something and be out on there with the bays. We got a river, but some spots there's no use to drive 55. Well, it's a 44 miles out and 44 back round trip to catch hardly anything. I don't know if it's worth a try, but it'll be all glitchy and stuff in that spot. I do want to fish down there where I do know where the big catfish at. I kind of want to hold off on that. Lewis, what's going on? How's it going? Appreciate it for the shout out. Y'all guys don't watch Lewis, check out Lewis. He's got a nice channel. I'll be checking it out. I'm still getting everybody. It's so hard trying to not really run the channel, but build the channel of mine, watch everybody, and work, and the kids. It's a lot. Yeah, I mean that you guys seen. I got 3 different fishing areas down here. Every time I go to one, it's fully loaded with boats. Which now they're fixing to start deer hunting up that way, and it's not a very big spot, and stuff bites, but it don't bite. Then I got a little fishing area over there that's on the side of the road, and you guys will just hear cars the whole time, which is about a 30-foot by about 100-foot wide area. And the other side of the road is a little bitty area. It holds monster bass and catfish and everything, but you can only cast so far without risking your line. It used to be okay to fish there. The guy found out he had cattle fence up. He told him, Vince, it's an access, it's a culvert technically for the road, but it leads to his property that drains off into 2 lakes on each side for their cows. They split it, and that road technically could fish there. They made him put up a piping system where people can fish. He's not allowed to actually block it off from people from fishing. And he come up one day and he asked, he asked us, "Are they fishing there?" Yeah, there's fishing there. You know, there's fishing there. People's been fishing here for over 30 years. Okay, why you ask? Oh, no reason. So he goes down there and cuts the pipes off, then cuts the things off where you can fish through or fish over. What's going on, Rod? Welcome in. Good to see you. then he wound up putting barbed wire across it, and everything stays behind the barbed wire. All the good fish. There's crappie, there's bluegill, brim, shellcracker. Shit, I've seen almost 6 to 7 pound largemouth in there. Crappie that's putting an 18-inch crappie up around here. It's just massive. They're all in there. Stump knocker, warmouth. I've got just about everything. There's no flathead in there, and there's no channel cat. There's no blue cat. There's brown bullhead, yeah, and yellow bullhead in there. Which down here we eat the bullhead, but they're so big, so people's like, I don't know, that's a trash fish. No, we eat them down here. But you can catch those, shoot, 2 foot long and almost 4 pounds. Hey Cornelius, appreciate it. All right, yeah, good evening too. Yeah. Hey C Chester, how's it going? No, we got spots. It's just the really good ones are held up by boat. You gotta have a boat. No, I'm not taking the John boat out on the river. I'd have to at least have a 25 or bigger. I've had a 50 horse, and it done real good. But I wouldn't go no smaller on most parts of that river, less than 25. And that's pushing it. 35 would be there. I've seen 25 horse almost struck wide open going through some of that current. But they got some massive fish there though. Yeah, me too. I'll eat those. They're good to a point, but I prefer the freshwater catfish. The flathead's my favorite to eat. But he's got to be a certain size. Anything no bigger than 2 foot is too big. Now, unless you're feeding a bunch of people, then it's all right. Which I've watched them take 5 pound flathead and kill them and hook them on a hook and fish for 80 and 100 pound catfish. They come out with a fish, with a head that wide and fish for something just massive. No, I can put in the swift as it's current in, it'll bring me all the way down to the bay. If I wouldn't be able to fight my way back up the river unless I got out and navigated through the woods, which I can navigate through the woods, but it'll sweep you from where up at a bridge all the way to the bay out there. There's some spots that slow down, but it's only like narrow canals and stuff. But what's going on, Smurfy? I mean, it's swift. You fall off in the dare. I mean, you can swim your way out as long as you're not out in the middle. That's if you can make it back before possible gator gets you. I mean, I have swam down there with them. They don't really bother you, but getting close to the nighttime and some of those spots that are secluded, they don't care. My father-in-law, my brother, and his friend, her brother-in-law, my brother-in-law, and all of them went on a rafting trip. They went from the spot up there to down there, but they did it during the daytime, early in the morning. They was going to do an overnight trip, but they didn't. Her dad, my father-in-law, he pre-did it, but he did it at night to see how bad it was, see how long it'd take him to get out. Yeah, he made it out all right. He said, I wasn't going to rush. He had his headlamp in there. He's done Boy Scouts all up to Eagle Scouts and everything. He's got extensive training through military and stuff. But he was going down. He said it was close to night, and going down through the river. got down and it got up to the Y. He had to turn. And then it got up kind of swift. He said it reached night. He said you wouldn't believe the gators that come off the banks just everywhere. He said it's more loaded than alligators than you'll see than during the daytime. You'll see 4 times that at night. He said I'm not talking about no 4 foot, 6 foot, 8 foot. Yes, these are monsters. He says, I'm floating in an aired up raft, which we used to have the raft, but he got out. They dropped him off at like 7 o'clock. He was done by like 2 o'clock in the morning. Hey, I'm done. What's going on, Rivers? How's it going? Welcome in, just chatting around, chatting. He got all the way up to the bay, and he's like, hey, come and get me, I'm done. We're doing this during the daylight. He's like, you wouldn't believe the amount of alligators were down that river. Oh, I know how much. I told him, I said, oh, I know. He goes, no, you ain't seen. I said, no, I've seen some monsters down there. That 14 that's down there at the bridges, I'm like, there's a couple of them up there, so. Yeah, we had, which we need to remove that. Lewis, welcome. Rod, Anthony, roll call, Dorothy. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, no, we blocked out a certain word because they'll come in and put one letter at a time. And I thought she was supposed to remove those the other day. Somebody used an I part of it the other day and it was like, but yeah, there. Just bear with me. I am going to do more content. It's just the freshwater stuff until to get the boat going. I'll get a boat that goes downriver. Find a decent enough boat to trust to go out on the river with, especially that swift one. We'll start doing that. Which I got a lot more spots to go. It's just everything's just so packed up right now. Work, kids, school, this, that, Money only goes so far, so. Yep, welcome in, y'all. I like to give away, if you're not familiar, I like to give away free memberships. If you're not familiar how to do that, you just go to your laptop, hit the little thing up in the corner. It'll say give free memberships and then gift them. You can do 10 a month. I just break mine up to 5 there. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, getting back up. It don't look like a swift river. I mean, I want to take y'all there to really show you. But I want to take you guys there when it's ripping and not ripping. Show you guys the difference. See, I've had it up there where it's slick glass on the top, barely even moving. But back out and get on a boat, you're already 400 yards down by the time you even get the boat started. If you don't start your boat first. Because a lot of people, they'll shove off and go to firing up the boat when they're already halfway down. Then somebody say, hey, can you come and pull me? Why do you fire up your boat first? Well, I thought it would crank. Well, thinking and doing is 2 different things. Struggler, what's going on? Anthony, your other channel got a membership. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Good to see all y'all here. You already back up to 22. You. But no, I want to turn this thing into the fishing shed. Yeah. Which I got some little small creeks and stuff. I got a big lake I can take the John boat out on. But I gotta figure out whether if I can still buy the pass up there or I have to buy it online. But they're saying you have to buy it online to there. If I can buy the memberships for the whole year, I'll just buy it. Probably be cheaper. What's going on, Ed? How's it going? I think he said he was feeling better a little bit. Might be. Or he just might still be going fishing. So, yeah, I hate that. Be doing good, thinking you're fully over it, doing good. A couple of days later, bam, doing going. What's going on, Wayne? How's it going? Or, do you mind? Cat fight. Well, it's not a cat fight. I just can't say what they're doing. Poor cat can't ever catch a break. She won't get the trap, so we can get her spayed. We've been trying to get her in the thing to get her spayed, but everybody else has got all over other cats are neutered, but the neighbors won't neuter their animals. They just feed and let them, you know. And unfortunately, she had a kitten not too long ago. She had a couple, but the males kind of got a hold of them, if you catch my drift. And only one survived. Well, it survived until like last week. And they wound up so they can find on her. You should catch my drift. But no, but I do want to get out that big lake, y'all. I want to take my big rod, a little rod, and my bass rod. I can panfish, catfish, and bass fish all at the same time there. It's got some monsters in it. If the catch is big enough, like 10 pounds or more, they'll put you up on the wall. If I'd have got that one in, I wish I'd have went off the dock, but I fought it in. But that'd have probably been my PB catfish there. Probably PB alligator that I caught too. I had one of those Shakespeare with an 808 on it, big old reel on her. I had 25-pound line and a leader on it. I got it all the way up. Reeled it all. I was up on a dock and everything. People watching. The rod was just bowed all the way to the thick part. It was even bowing down. I was reeling in, trying not to put too much pressure, but every time I like release down the reel and ease up, it would take a little drag, but it got about a foot up beneath the water. My brother-in-law said he caught a glimpse of it. A glimpse. He said it looked to be about 100-pound catfish, a flathead. He said he wasn't too sure because it was brown, and being a foot up beneath the water with the water being brown, he couldn't tell exactly what it was. But he said he's pretty sure it was about 100-pound flathead. I've caught 40 and stuff, but it took me about 20 minutes to get him from out there to where I was at. Even though, but I was unable to use that reel right after that. I tried throwing back out to catch and try to get him one more time, but the reel I've caught, I wound up throwing back out and catching about a half a pound bluegill, and I couldn't even reel it in. It stripped it, and I was just easing it, you know. I went from about 3 foot away from the edge of the dock to on the bottom board to the next board. I was on the 4th board up before the very top, just leaning back into it. And when I say lean back into it, I'm just, you know, this fish that I had on, I was fully extended straight out. He was bowed, and I was reeling and leaning. He had him there, and as he was getting up, he's like, I got him. I could see the line come to the bottom of the dock, And I said, oh, I'm gonna, they're like, well, I think you need to step down. I said, I am. You know, I kept pressure and I got down to the bottom and I got him up. But I was like, man, that was, I cried a little bit on that. I'm gonna lie, y'all. I did. Hey, Catch in Alaska. How's it going? Welcome in. Good to see you in. What's going on, Chaos Scope? I'm sorry, y'all, if I missed y'all. Good to see you in Catch in Alaska. I've been lurking. I've been watching. Appreciate it. I'm just shed talking right now. If you guys ain't familiar with Catch in Alaska, he fishes in Alaska. Real great guy to watch. He's got a real nice channel. Yeah, no, I don't want to alter it. I got a fan, but I don't have it plugged in. Oh yeah, I like your channel. So yeah, I still watch. I just there. So yep, I hear you on that. I seen you halibut fishing the other day. That was a big one halibut. I couldn't see all of it, but what I could tell, it was pretty big, pretty beefed up boy. Hey, Mike. Uh, email me. Email me. I want to talk to you about that. I kind of don't want to bring it up here, but. Uh, if I find some cool props. Yeah, I got some old fishing rods and stuff, which I got enough fishing rods and stuff to hang around. No, I want to hang some baits and stuff. I don't want to take too much of the rustic out of it, because it's over 100-year-old shed, and some of the stuff in here is really old. How's it going, Wayne? But if you do, be appreciated. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, if I know if anybody misses the lives or anything, I do post the fish. I do leave them normal, just be showing them, holding them. Any size fish gets showed. I worked hard to catch it. You guys got to see it. Some of y'all didn't, so I don't care what size it is. I worked hard to catch it. I set out in the heat and everything, so I'll show it off for y'all. So I just want to reiterate that that's why I don't fancy up the things. I like to leave the shorts normal, just showing them in there. So I do add music too there. Yeah, I mean, I could fancy it up or show the big ones, but you know, I've caught. I like the gaff top cell cats, the little ones with the side fins to look real cool on them. I like to show those off. Those are pretty cool, and I've caught some small ones. They're cool as just the big ones are. You mean you got something that's tugging on your line, you reel in and it ain't like that, and he's giving you a fight of his life. I'm not gonna be like, oh, you're just a little fella. Oh no, he fought hard to get in and get his bait. So yeah. How's it going, Trudge? Night. Yeah, this one was every bit. It might have been 7 inches max. Just a little bitty guy. I've caught 3 of them. I mean, they fly hard to there. I'm gonna show all my fish caught. I'm a fishing channel. I'm not gonna just a giant, you know. I ain't got one yet on camera, but it seems yeah. If anybody misses it, that's why I put them on there. I do put music on there. So. If you guys ain't seen one of the bass have caught, I've got it in one of my shorts. I got some pretty cool, neat looking fish for me, so I think they're cool. Sarah, hey, I'm sorry if I don't say hey to you, or if you say something, some things in chat I don't see. She's even said something standing next to me on her phone and was like, "You didn't respond." I'm like, "What?" And then she shows me her phone. I said something. I'm like, "Okay." Appreciate it, Trudge. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna give up. Yeah. I just take a bunch of them that I've caught and recently and in the past. I mean, just I just scrunch them all together. Just kind of make a video out of it. I know you guys are seeing it one by one or on the live, but for some people, you know, just a bite back to back. Pretty cool. Thank you, Karen. Hey, Al. How's it going? But yeah. If you guys if you guys want to go live one day or what, just let me know. I'll go live and hang out with everybody. Don't hurt my feelings. I know some of us is in different time zone and different stuff, but we can always meet in the middle, you know. Yeah, I've I've toggled back and forth in between them on my phone for some reason. I don't see a difference in it. It's supposed to switch to all messages, even instead of just to talk people just talking. It's supposed to go to everybody, and it don't. Yeah, yeah. Just let me know. You should be same time zone I am, possibly, maybe. Yeah, just let me know. I mm, I've got my email in the descriptions. I'll keep an eye out for it. It's gonna be nice in here. I can't wait. It's gonna take me some time. I know. But I do come up here and I do show off my Christmas tree. This is y'all's Christmas tree. It's not lit up. But that's my YouTube Christmas tree. I don't have each individual name on there. I do have, yeah, it's the alphabet, but it's there. Little tour. Ain't really much. It ain't a very big shed. I got some Um, I'm not sure what that is. If anybody knows what that is, I think it's off a car. Got an old sharpener. I got an old fan. Um, oh yeah, fishing rods, old tackle box. I got a couple of neat things. I ain't forgot about that. I do got an old. I open up and let you have a box. Alright. They don't have the motor, of course. I know early 50s or so boat motor. I got reels. I got some stuff I want to do. It just take me a bit. If you could fit it under a tree, I could use a new boat. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm waiting for somebody to test the strength. I had an old guy across the road. His name was James. He had an old petrified piece of wood. I like that old petrified piece of wood. He looked at me kind of funny. He goes, "How'd you know that wasn't a rock?" I said, "No, it's wood." I said, "It's petrified. It's from way back when, right?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "How much you reckon that weighs?" About 500. He said 475. I said, "Okay." He goes, "I'll give you that piece of wood if you can pick it up." Okay. And we were sitting over my parents. They're like, "No." He's like, "No, it'll be a fair even thing." She goes, "No, no." She looked at me and she goes, "Don't you go try that." He's like, "I'll give it to him fair and square. You can pick it up." She goes, "No, you don't understand. He can pick it up." "Well, I'll give it to him if he can." "I doubt it." "No, I know I can pick it up." "Nah, nah, nah." I said, "No, I can pick it up. If I can pick it up, I can have it." I said, "No, I won't do that to you." You know, okay. I forgot about it. I was walking around. He called me over to his house. "Hey, can you come and help me move a few cinder blocks?" "Sure." And so I had to move a few cinder blocks, send it to him, talk to him on his porch and stuff. I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Can you really pick that up?" I said, "Yeah, I can really pick that up." "I don't think you can." He's like, "If you can pick that up, I would have let you have it." "Nah, nah, I'm not gonna try." Well, I talked for a bit, hung out about another 2 hours, walked off the porch. He was walking inside. I said, "Hey, James, here's what." I went, "Can I have it?" And I said, picked it up and set it back down. He goes, "I didn't believe you can pick it up." "Yeah." Always wants me to pick up old dry wood. Yeah, my son's got the collecting sticks. I like to collect old driftwood and stuff. I found I was 3 miles back in the woods hunting up there with that one place at Webb's. I was way back in there. Shot a couple of squirrels and didn't see much else. Was walking out. I walked past it. I'm like, which it was way back in there. I was like, "I'm gonna pick that wood up." I said, "I'm gonna take it home. It looks like an old cornucopia with straight not curled." I said, "I like that." It was waterlogged. So my brother, we sat there for a while. We got up. We was leaving to go to a new spot. He's like, you gonna grab that wood? Yeah. I said, here, I took my squirrels in the bag. So I took the squirrels off and gave him the bag. And now it's wet and was buried in some mud. He's like, do you need some help picking it up? Nah, throw it over my shoulder, walking with a shotgun. We got about from a mile out. I'll trade you. I said, no, I'm doing pretty good. Squirrel! Throw it, shotgun. Boom! Go pick that squirrel up for me. No, I'll hold the piece of wood. You go get your own squirrel. Okay. So he set his gun down. He threw his arm up to grab the log. I set the log on his shoulder. He fell over. I didn't know it was that heavy. I didn't know about threw up my back. I said, give me the wood back, and I picked it up and I helped him up. I'll go get the squirrel. Okay. We walking out. Yeah, and we walking out. We got there, and I shot another squirrel. I was like, I know. Go pick it up. We didn't see nothing else the rest of the day. We brought it home, and it's been here ever since. I found some cool looking wood, like long, different things. Nice. I'll check them out. Yeah, he likes to whittle sticks. He likes to whittle spoons and stuff. I used to whittle canes. My back was going out real bad. I took an old flattening plane. I was sitting there, I was looking at a 2x4. I was like, I'm going to whittle that into a cane. Bought that to the saw, ripped it in half, whittled a cane out of it. And I'll whittle another one. Had a pretty good collection going on. Yeah, he made her wooden spoons and spatulas and stuff. Yeah. That's Mommy's baby. Looks like Mommy too. He does, boy. Not making fun of him either. He does. He looks like his mama. He walked by with his hair up one day. I was like, hey. He took a double take. I thought I heard she walked past. I'm like, nah, never mind. It's got chin hair, Wrong one. Yeah, he likes to whittle spoons, forks, and stuff like that. I don't know what he ought to do. We was sitting there doing something, and I walked in his room to do something. Walked back out, looked over. He's got a closet full of wood. Okay, turn on. Just walked out. Yeah, I reckon. Is it glitching on y'all's end? Is it like flashy on y'all's end? Okay, I'll make sure there ain't no ghost behind or something. I don't know why it's doing it. The light's not flickering. Stupid phone. But yeah. Well, what's going on, Shadow? How's it going? Red. Boss. No, I don't know. No, the light's not there. It's the phone. No, it's the phone doing it. Somebody's taking over my camera. Alright. You asked for it. You eat. Here, you want to go fishing? Here. Oh. Here, Spectre, take the rod and go fishing. Leave the camera on. I don't know, probably. It ain't behind. Yeah, I'd say that you on camera, you'd leave. I'm like, eh. No, I'm good. I've seen some weird stuff, but never no ghost, you know. It's the forest, or however you spell it. Oh yeah, no, you good. No, I've just been watching. I'm like, are they seeing this, or is it just me? I'm like, mm. But it's not the light. The light's perfectly still. What's live you need to watch? Yeah. Well, I have seen one or two ghosts. I One of them was an old lady. She come out and grabbed me on my chest. I was, I'm out of here. I was cooking something. I was gonna cook some center cut pork chops and some little peeled potatoes. I was cooking, just turning them on, just cooking. I kept leaning around watching the TV through the thing, through the mirror. And I seen something go across the mirror. I seen something go back. I seen it come and stop, and it went back. And I'm like, what? I'm just gonna go back to cooking, you know. I was like, well, let me see what's going on with the TV. And I'm watching TV, and I see an old lady come across, like an old dress, like a weather dress, like a flower, nothing frilly type dress or something. She like turned, and I was like facing the front of the mirror, and it come across the living room and into the kitchen and just touched me on the chest. I looked down and seen the handprint there. Home. I just went click, 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 run. I run all of that shit. I was gone. I was like gone. How's it going, Ray? Appreciate you for coming. Oh shit, fucking red. But yeah. Then I seen one somewhere. I seen a ghost car. We was driving down Shamuckla Highway. We had an old farm fields out there, but there's a big blank space with another field, some little bit of wooded area thing, then the fields, billboard, the ditch, the field. I watched the car drive and get right before the ditch and just veer off, just straight sideways, go out in the middle of the field, stop, and then light up in flames. I mean, like just burst as, you know, it's throwing almost a 30-foot flames around in a circle in there. I got up to it and I was like, we need to go check on him. So I stepped on. I was already moving 60. So hey, we need to go check on him. I don't know if they got kids in the car or what. We drove there and the car disappeared. Flame stopped. Oh, everything. So, okay. I looked around. I said, I'm gone. It went from 60 to like 70. Just veering. I veered down the road and got in the yard. I'm like, nah. Woke up the next morning. I said, let's go see what really happened, if it really happened, you know. Or was we just see a ghost car? Yeah. Nah, well, I don't think we seen what we did. We might have been tired. Appreciate it, Smurfy. No Ouija boards. Well, a Ouija board wouldn't be as bad as a Jumanji board. No, I wouldn't set the Ouija board. I'd set Jumanji over Ouija. But we drove back up to go fishing. I was fishing with my brother-in-law that night. We drove back up to Zach's spot. No burn mark, no car, no destroyed crops, no drive off marks, nothing. Was going, turn back. There. So I'm like, I'm good. We went fishing. But we fished with my brother-in-law that night in a couple places. We went up to the big, we call it Bear Lake. It's a place out in Munson. We go. It's that lake I want to take y'all to. We were down there, like, well, let's hang out and go fishing. Fair enough, fair enough. Let's meet up here at Bear Lake. Okay, Joe, at the Bear Lake. We fishing. Halfway fishing. So we're like, well, we'll go fish down there. It's the dam. It's the 100 foot to the bottom and goes out into a culvert you fish off of. Usually they're not some nice fish. He fished and fished and we chatted for about 30, 45 minutes. And I looked at him, I said, you know this is going to be a run and start, right? I moved out of his way. He backed down the culvert all the way to the end and flicked in the U-turn. He took off, run straight up. You know, you just run as fast as you can. You're there, and you got it all the way up. You're good. Lord help you if you stop. You better put it forward. You better reach on the grass and grasp with at least an extra hand because you're going to go sliding back down. You go down, you go down like run down it, then you run back up. So I turned, got down it, meow. I went up all the way up. He said, you made it. His wife was down at the bottom and she was down at the bottom. We're like, come on. Or come on. Yeah, ha ha, very funny. I'm pregnant and she's pregnant. Yeah, very funny. You know we're going to have to walk all the way around. They had to walk all the way around and walk up. Where are we going to fish while you're doing that? Shh, hold up. We're looking at some deer over here and some turkey. And they see us slink down. We go creeping across the ground. We got, I say about 20 yards per somebody say, hey, what y'all catching? Huh? The deer and the turkey were like, my brother's like, freaking jerks. I want to see how close I get on. I said, I'm glad we didn't get no closer because I would have pounced on one. Hey Gary, how's it going? Good to see you. Ain't seen you in a while. How's it going? She won't allow a Ouija board in the house. You want to get a Ouija board? She's like, nope. Want a Jumanji board? Nope. I'll probably survive Jumanji instead of a little weird thing coming out. I mean, my thing is, if it comes out, I can shoot it. I'll shoot at it. I don't blame you. Oh. Yeah. Hell no. Wait, to both or one? Oh yeah. But nah, I'm good. Are you good? Are you good, phone? To both or just a Ouija board? I'd probably play Jumanji. You know, I'm gonna sit. Yeah, I can. You know me, that dude that come out of there like wanting to hunt people. You don't understand. I'm one of those that, you know, you take a shot at me, I'm not gonna miss returning fire. I'm watching them like, oh my God, and I'm like, I don't want to waste ammo. She knows that. I don't give warning shots. Scare somebody off. No, that's a typical rule in Florida. If you're gonna shoot at somebody, shoot to kill. Don't shoot at them like that way. Oh, I wasn't doing that. I was asking for help. No, if you shoot at somebody, you shoot to kill. A dead man tells no tales and beats no witness and leaves no witness. I talked to a lady in Walmart. We was walking through. She's like, I was standing there. I was like, "Can I help you?" She was looking at the bass lures, all kind of fun. She's like, I was like, "Can I help you?" She's like, "You work out?" I'm like, "No, but you're looking at the bass stuff, you know." She's like, "I'm not from around here, but I want to do a little bass fishing and stuff." She goes, "I've been here for a little while." I'm like, "Okay." And me and the lady got to talking about bass lures. It got about be about 2 hours later in Walmart. I didn't know I was talking to her that long. But she's like, "I'll run into a cop that I know that was down here. He said, he told me, he asked me if, I toted." And they're like, "What?" He goes, "You know about the law down here, right?" "What?" She goes, "What you gonna do if you shoot somebody?" "Oh, I'm just gonna shoot him in his leg," or there he goes, "No. Mm-mm. He goes, "You always shoot to kill. A dead man can't talk." She goes, "Okay." She says, "A witness can't talk either if he's dead." She's like, "What?" I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, my friend, he's a cop. He's been a cop for like 10 years, so his name was recognized it." "Yeah." She goes, "Shoot the witness too. A witness can't tell no tales either." I'm like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah. So anybody comes into my car, I'm just gonna shoot him dead now." Yeah, it's too. Oh yeah, it's too expensive, especially on some ammo. No, I know. 30 shells are expensive. They're freaking like $5 a shell almost down here. I think for a box of 10, it's like $60. Oh my good lord, 25 is like $60. I'm like, nah. Yep, no wasting, nothing. And it don't matter if you got hollow points or full metal jackets. A shot to shot. I mean, a hollow point's going to do more damage per se, but somebody through a wall, I don't want to hit the impact and it ruin the bullet and then go through and get him with shrapnel. No, I want to punch through the wall, through him, and out the back. I got something to do it too. I want to get me a big hand cannon too. I want to get me a big old 500 Smith & Wesson. I'm thinking about making Florida open carry. Oh boy, they make Florida open carry. There's a lot of people going to think twice about messing with these old people around here. I was in the DMV. I was talking to Karen about too. I was down there at the DMV and the old woman, "I need to get the CCW." Now this lady's like in the 80s, 70s, 80s. Old, frail looking old lady. Looked like her Nana, but her Nana looked tougher than she did. "Oh, I need to renew my permit." "What do you mean you never renew your permit? Your driver's no, my CCW." "Okay, ma'am. Do you know which weapon you're using?" "Yeah, 357 Magnum." "What? 357 Magnum? You stub nose? The one without the hammer on it, double action. It's got hollow points. You want to see it?" "No, ma'am, I don't need to see it." I was thinking, dang it, I wanted to see it. I almost asked her, "Hey, old lady, you want to show it to me? I want to see it. Just let me peek in your purse." Shit, this lady, dude, I'm telling you. Well, she looks over, she's like, "What did she say?" I'm like, "She's got a 357 in her thing." She's like, "What?" I was like, "She's got a 357 in her hand pad." She's like, "You shoot me?" I'm like, "Nope." She said, "It's a stub nose." She's, "Are you sure?" I said, "Oh wait, never mind." I'm talking to somebody that, here was a gun, you're like, you're off to go see it, And that's not the bad part. There was about 12 other old people about her age standing in the corner. "We'll be over here in a minute to issue y'all CCW." "All right, ma'am, no problem." "Okay, thank you, sweetie." And then once I was like, "Thank you." And they open up candies and stuff. I'm like, I'm like, Don't mess with old people in Florida. You want to mess with somebody, mess with a younger person. Shoot, I'll take on a buff guy first before I mess with an old rider. Every time I go down there, oh, I need to renew it. I need to renew it. Some of them, but Florida made it where you don't have to technically take the class, but as long as you got no felonies, you can tote a gun on you. They took that where you can tote one no matter who you are, as long as you're not a felon and not a kid, you know. Yeah, nice. What do you tote? Yeah, we don't have to renew ours. We can just tote one when we want. I don't generally tote one unless I go out to the woods. It's been a few times I've wondered if I should have toted one, but there's enough old people around that's packing. I figured they'll shoot somebody if they have to. My mama's cousin we was talking on the phone. I sit down with her talking to her after doing her dialysis. She is sitting there chatting. She's like, "This is your aunt. What's her face? I don't remember her name." She's like, "That's that lady I told you that's up here." I'm like, "Okay." She's sitting there. She goes, "I want to tell y'all something that happened the other day." She goes, "Man, I was sitting out back watching some deer run around. And then I seen these chipmunks digging holes in my yard." Appreciate it, Karen. I seen it. No. And she said I was sitting on my back porch like this watching my deer. And there these chipmunks started digging in my yard. She said I just reached out. Not today, it's chipmunk. Boom. She goes, we heard a shot. Boom. She was sitting there telling us about it. Shooting freaking chipmunks 20 to 30 and 40 yards out in front of her house and behind her house with a freaking 357. She's like, boom. Sorry. I finally got that little sucker. Freaking chipmunk chewing holes in my grass for me to trip over trying to go feed my deer. I'm like, deer, you say? So yeah, I got deer all out over here. Oh man, there comes my elk. Oh god dang chipmunk, don't. It shoots another one. So I'm like, shooting them with a 357. Yeah, it keeps my hand good and ready. She come home a couple times. She told us, you know, she's like, well, I shoot those for fun, keep my hand ready. Well, she's like, well, I come home one day and my house is rummaged through. Come home again, my house was rummaged through. Money gone, a little bit of jewelry here and there. So she drove off with a car. It snuck back through her woods and snuck back up, went into it. She sat down at her kitchen table. She sat there, she had her 357 loaded. She said, I'll send you the pictures. She goes, I still got the hollow point that I shot him with. She goes, I'll take one of there so you can see it. Shot. You know, she showed it. Yeah. She sat there, she heard the back door open. She already seen somebody coming through the door. She's like, didn't even have to cock it back. He'd come up at the end of the thing. Thank you, Lewis. He'd come up at the end of the thing. She goes, I figured it was you. I've warned you before from breaking into my house. Raises the gun up a little bit and pulls the trigger. Shoots him between the eyes. If he goes to hit the ground again, she shoots him another time. Calls the law. Yes, sir. I'm going to need to report a dead body. I had a break in. Ma'am, you shoot somebody? Yes, I did. Are you home alone? No. The body's on the floor. She says, I had somebody break in and stealing money and stealing jewelry and stealing this. Electronics. She goes, I worked hard for my money. She says, I do truck driving. But she goes, what happened? She goes, somebody borrowed my car. I was home. He thought I was gone. He broke in while I was in the house. He found out. Come up, done an investigation there. The cops was hauling the body out. And her neighbors, like, she had a problem with a couple of her frat boy neighbors. They're like, oh, old lady, oh yeah, you like to almost died. She's like, no, He didn't make it. She was hoping it was you, old lady. You're just an old bat. It's like, I'm not an old bat. She goes, just remember, you want to leave in one of those two, you step over the fence. The law goes, ma'am, did you just threaten him? She goes, no, sir, I just promised him what'll happen. She goes, I'm 65 years old and I don't take no crap from nobody. That all her defense. Did you get that lady's warning? Yeah. She goes, you know, she just shot this man from like 5 feet in front of her, right? Okay. He said, we can't show you, but trust me, there's enough damage here. He wasn't allowed to have an open casket. She said it went in thumb size and out the back almost that big. I'm like, good Lord. She said the back of the head went in big as thumb, and the back of the head was gone. I'm like, good Lord. Yeah, I done warned them in front of the cops that they here. She said, they ain't not one of them looked over ever again. She said she was in a convenience store about a couple months later after that happened. She had her hand, she seen a guy come in with a gun, she stuck her hand in her pocket. She totes her stub nose on her. She had her kind of a big pocket, you know, she sat there with it in her hand. She's like, man, I was sitting there, all right, give me your money out of cash register. And the guy wouldn't comply, so he pistol whipped him. Then he pistol whipped him again, the guy got unconscious. He's like, everybody back here in the freezer. Back here, go back there in that freezer. I'm locking y'all in. Old lady, get your hand out of your pocket. Old lady, get your hand out of your pocket. No, sir. She goes, I pull my hand out of the pocket. You ain't going to be here, young man. Ha 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 ha. And she's like, I'll keep my hand in the pocket and I'll comply. And you just shut the freezer and I'll lock us in. And we'll be good. I'm 65 years old. I'm not going to sit there and freeze to death. Just shut it. We all stay. They had like 3 other people. She's like, we're all staying in the freezer. We're going to turn around, right? Just not got to shut the door. No, ma'am. We're there. The guy shut the freezer, but not all the way. And she was standing through the glass. She's like, go ahead, do what you got to do. Ma'am, you're taking your hand up. She's like, I'm telling you, you don't want me to take my hand in my pocket. They come up and he brought the place and left. They go, why? And old lady, why don't you want him to take a hand out of pocket? She pulled out her handgun. She goes, I'm there, you know. She goes, I shoot chipmunks at 30 to 40 yards away. Just instant, just draw, just snap draw. Which we didn't know. She showed us a couple of her trophies. She's got one of the fastest draws in one of her counties up there. She still holds some of the fastest records up there. She's like, so I've just snap drawn a cowboy draw. She had it down in her pocket. She's like, I drew it out. She said, he would have never dared. He was all just, you know, he would have never stood a chance. She said, well, she said, I done truck driving. Hey, Garrett. She's like, I was just driving the truck, sitting there sleeping. Somebody broke in through the door, just boo, shot him and called the police. She says, you know how many times I had to do that? At least 4 or 5 times. She goes, that's not my first time shooting somebody. She goes, my husband was in the war and stuff like that. My son was in the war. You know, you just driving, you know. Florida, Florida. No, I forget where she said she is from. I think she said North Carolina or South Carolina. There for a while, she lived on up from there. But I don't know quite where she said she was from. I only talked to her a handful of times before she was not talking to nobody no more. She had to go out on the road, drive the 18-wheeler and stuff. She said she was not too far from being retired, so I'm like, okay. She showed us some trophies from there. She done the cowboy shoot. She said about that's what she carried at all times. I'm like, I asked her, why do you tote it? She goes, your grandpa. She's like, she told us, she was like, from him. I'm like, huh. My grandpa toted a 14-inch 357. He had it nickel plated or something. He's had a couple people jump in the car, driving down through Philly and stuff. Stop at a red light. Give me your car, old man. Yeah, go ahead. What? You know, you had it tucked beside us. Yeah, go ahead. Just get out. He was from up north. Basically, he didn't care where he drove. He fought in War One and Two. He said, "I'll tell you some stories. You don't want to hear them." I'm like, "No, I'm good." He said, "We have wiped out a whole section of place before." He said, "We went in, walking around and chilling, not chilling, just, vacating, making sure there was no hostiles there. Just making sure there was nothing, they had to go through." He said, "We went in there, they were there. They He said, yeah, they were eating kids and all kinds of stuff." And he just, I'm going to tell you what he did, but it just put it this way, they wasn't there anymore. I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." He goes, we had left before then. Somebody called it, and stuff. I'm like, he said, "I've had to shoot people." He said, "I got out of that section and we flew he mostly flew where the air crew, he flew through all of that. He dropped bombs and stuff, so he said, yeah, so they called an air thing and they wasn't there anymore. Because it was a small village. The women and children were gone, but it was men and stuff like that. He was eating kids and they didn't know. They just called an airstrike as an airstrike, He's like, "I'll bomb places and stuff." Because I've seen some stuff in there. I'm like, I'm good. But he traveled around after the military all over the United States. That one reel that everybody complained about was sounded like a coffee grinder. That's the one he fished with. He fished from Delaware all the way down to Florida, all the way to California. I think he avoided like 2 states. I think he only been to not like 2 states. He's been to Alaska, he ain't been to Hawaii, and there's another one he ain't been to. But he said it wasn't worth driving through anyways back then, so there was really nobody here. Hmm? Oh, I was like, snow. I'm like, snow chat. I can't show snow chat. So, I still ain't forgot about the boat motor. I just ain't had time. I don't know if I want to put it on the John boat or not. I might just get me a working one. I was going to stick it back together the other day. I put it back together, stick it back together, but it's being a pain in the butt to get back together. I am too, Karen. I'm ready for it. Not to kill the fish, just to get some to cool off. Be some cool to do back-to-back gear of snow, see what the difference is. But, yeah, he just says what he does. I just randomly went live. That's some of the stuff it says. I like how Turner had that. You type in certain words in his thing, it'll tell you what he's caught and where he's fishing at. Which mine tells you what I caught and where he's fishing at. You just don't have to type it. But I like the way his was. I like Turner's channel. His channel's chill. If you're listening, you need to get that wheel fixed on that trailer. That thing looks dangerous. Whole floppy around, worn out bearing in it. Yeah, it just slowly set it up. Um, there's there's a limit with stuff. You can set certain things, keywords and stuff like that, and use it a certain ways. I found a balance. Mine does work, but mine's made for fun too. They like to throw coconuts and chase people with alligators, throw snowballs, take people out for ice cream. We can even send medics and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, you can toggle what you want on and off. We can say whatever just about holidays and everything. She's set it up, which I figured it out the other day. I changed some stuff. If you type in explanation point Smurf, you can check that out. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I keep it entertaining. If I'm not talking or run out of things to say or I walk away, you guys are not chatting. You can give each other ice cream, stuff like that. I try to make it fun. I add a few more things, take a few things, and try to mess around with it. Strawberry for you. Triple dip or yeah, triple scoop. I'll take some strawberry too. Not with the chunks, just strawberry. I'll tell you, Scott, some of there. I ain't never tried the soft Blue Bunny brand. It's there, but I got it where it does that. Uh, I got some. I liked it. They didn't like it. It's too soft. I'm like the other one's too hard. But yeah, you can type in explanation point Smurf, Dukes. There's all kinds of things. I changed one of them. I wanted to say what I changed, but if you type explanation point OG, you'll see. Bluebell, yeah. Brownie Bites, January, Garcia ice cream. It's my favorite. Nice. My daughter likes uh, butter pecan. I used to like the butter pecan, but I like the cookies and cream or chocolate, vanilla, strawberry. It don't matter. I found one I don't like, and that's I don't remember. But if you're lactose intolerant, they got a few more brands out there now. But you gotta watch some of them don't taste good. I do not recommend the Daya cheese. Anything Daya, just leave it. It's wax cardboard. It's gross. Oh yeah, mint chocolate chip is good. But, but if you see the brand Daya and you're lactose intolerant, like man, I want some cheese. No, just walk away. I'd rather eat regular cheese with no medicine just to suffer suffer with it. Dang, that was pretty good. I used to eat Dairy Queen. Uh, I went over to where my niece was working. She started working over there. She wasn't working at the time, but they had the world's worst burger anymore. It tastes like grilled shoe. I almost told her, I said, I'll just stir the meat off and just bite on my shoe. She's like, what? I'm like, you tried your burger yet? Nope. I'm I'm driving. I was like, here, try a bite of mine. Oh, grilled shoe, dude. I threw it out the window. Well, I wasn't eating the shoe. I'd have still ate it. Oh. Hmm. I done that. I used to not like crystals. Well, they asked what we want. You know, Burger King, McDonald's, crystal stuff. It's like, I ain't never had crystals. I don't want no crystals. Just a dollar cheeseburger on the way home from McDonald's or something. It's fine. The one, no, I want crystals. I love crystals. I don't know about that. I'm not gonna eat it. I don't know. So I got it, riding with the window down. Here's your crystals. Try it. No cheese. One with no cheese. Like, what the hell? Went and threw it out the window. Spit it back in, the whole thing out the window. I'm not giving you another one. I'm not giving you another one. Don't worry, I won't eat it. You want some fries? No. I'll just be hungry till I get home. Which we're only like 3 minutes from the house. Only about 10, but I tried to feed him. We bought him crystals and didn't warn him that it was warm and mushy and oh God, you fed him something moist. He didn't throw up in your car, did he? No, he just went black and spit it and threw it out the window. She goes, I told you not to be rude. I said I couldn't help it. I bit down, it was all moist, wet bread, and I said, I got it out as fast as I can without throwing up. Oh, I hate, anybody else hate the soggy, wet bread? Like you go to bite down on something that's immediate wet bread. Ugh. Gross. I'm not too big on McDonald's most of the time, but it's better than some of the places. I've eaten Sonic and I almost died there. That place, I'll never see another friggin' dollar from me. Plus, they have Robbie Blind down there too. I don't eat at Captain D's. If you guys ever come to Florida and you go to a place called Milton, you stop at Captain D's. Do not eat at Captain D's. Any other place, I'll even recommend Arby's over. And I don't eat Arby's, period, either, over Captain D's. They drop their food. They drop it on the floor, they pick it up, throw it in the batter, and fry it. No. I'll watch them feed people on that. I worked there for a bit. Nope. I dropped a piece of, not tilapia, cod. Their fish is cod. And they got a thick, wet batter you make. Well, I put me some in a thing. And I grabbed the fish out, and I went to put it in the batter. When I went to swipe it like you're supposed to, but it missed, it hit the thing, and it bounced, slipped out of my hand. So I got it, threw it away, changed my gloves. And the manager looked over like, what are you doing? Well, the manager / owner. He said, what are you doing? I'm like, I dropped that on the floor. He's like, not around this damn place, you're not. Throw that in the fryer. I'm like, what do you mean throw it in the fryer? He goes, yeah, ain't nobody do nothing. He picks it up out of trash, slaps it on the side, see that stuff? Wipes it off on a trash bag, sticks it down in the batter, wipes it and throws it in the thing. He goes, and you're going to finish grabbing that fish out and finish sticking it in there. Wash your hands, put you some more gloves on. Okay, that's strike number 1. Okay. No, I didn't really want to, He sat there for about a couple hours. So I suffered through it. I should have quit then. I didn't. I was like, nah. And the next time, they was passing down the tray to put it to the window. And the guy his son dropped the food on the floor. He's another manager up here. They had like 4 managers. 2 women and him and his son and his wife. His wife didn't consider it counting. She's just a business partner. But he dropped the crab, the fish, fries, green beans and stuff. I was like, They scooped it back in the thing, rearranged it, dropped a few more fries to make it look good. Picked it up, snapped it. She goes, tell the driver to pull around. Driver. I looked up at the screen over. I was like, that's the driver. I said, mind if I go take me a dip break? Dip break? Yeah, you dip? I said, yeah, I dip. Well, we ain't never seen. Well, you can only go so long, I ain't had one since way early this morning. Okay, that's fine. So I went back and told her, I said, out the door, I was like, I'm like, she's like, just a second. I gotta open up my door to get my seatbelt out of it. The lady backed up a box to the door. I said, don't eat that food. I said, what? I said, don't eat that food. She's like, what do you mean? I said, they just dropped it on the floor. What? I said, they just dropped it on the floor. Don't eat it. She goes, they did what? I said, they dropped it on the floor. No, they didn't. I said, ma'am, I'm the one that cooks the fish. I'm standing right next to the give it to the front window. Oh, okay. I thought I seen you in there before. Well, yes, ma'am. I said, don't eat that food. Okay. She ain't paid yet. Okay. And she said, is it okay to pull around? Yes, ma'am. She pulled around. All right, and drove off. Well, I stayed out about another 10 minutes, finished up my break, come back in. That lady's so fucking rude. Order food and act like she's too good for it. The wait was too long or something. And they drove off. She drove off, and the next customer come up, order something. They happen to order the same thing, and the guy's like, "Yeah." He goes, "No, I don't want something already." Well, you looked up. We had somebody just drive off. He's like, "No, I want mine made fresh." Because I don't know how long it's been. He goes, "Oh, it's less than 2 minutes." It's been like 10. It was already getting cold. He's like, "Okay." No, I want it fresh. He goes, "I want to add a drink and something else onto it." Okay, so they made everything fresh. You're like, dang it. And somebody had to eat it. And somebody was going on break, so they had to take it to eat it. It was their lunchtime. Oh, they were mad. They had to take it outside. They threw it in the dumpster. They come back and it's, man, I wasn't eating food off the floor. Wait, what? I'm not eating that food off the floor. I'm like, you guys want to feed it to the customers. Well, we got no other choice. Hell, we don't. Something they went to doing something else, and I don't know what happened. And I got tired of. God got tired of cooking, they were still dropping stuff on the floor. I'm like, no. I tried to stay back there washing dishes so I didn't have to see it, I was trying to figure out, piss them off there. They're like, well, we can't really use. And my truck tore up. And looked up my truck. Not that it's lucky that it tore up, but I'm like, my truck tore up, which it wasn't running right. The battery was dead and the alternator went out. Once I changed the alternator and the battery, I was like, I can't make it in. My truck's broke. No, if you don't come in the next hour, you're fired. Okay. What? Okay. I can't make it in. I guess I'm fired. That's fine with me. What? I'll be up there Friday to get my check. Okay. Now, mind you not, this man has docked the pay of every employee there. They'll come in and work an 8-hour shift. He'll only put them down for 5. And they had to deal with it or everybody get fired. Because him, his son, and his wife couldn't run it easily. But Benzie's a corporate store. He owned like 3 or 4 in the area. It was like one down the road from it. And Benzie owned that one and another one, Oh my God. He docked my pay. So I went for Friday. Oh, the boss will be in by 8 o'clock to come and get your check. Make sure you're here. Okay, coming in, I was quite fired yet. I could still walk through the back just to get my check. Then I turned on my shirt. Then I was fired. So I went 8 o'clock, nothing. I bought up back to the house. That's another 20-minute drive. Nothing. Waited 2 hours, come back, boss not there. Went and answered the phone. Drove back up 4 other times. Told us last time I'm driving up there, well, I'm gonna walk back in, they don't have it in. They're gonna get it ripen at, So okay, we drove up there. We was gonna go up to the thing. Well, every time I left there, I'd spin up the rock area. Well, he finally just arrived. I was pulling in. He got in, so I gave it 10 minutes for him to get settled in. So I walked in, opened up the door, and walked through. I didn't have my shirt on. I said, here. He said, yeah, I know you're fired. And he writes me out a check. I said, and I don't appreciate you shortchanging fucking people when they're working. Sorry about my language, but that's what I told him. So I don't like you shortchanging people how much they work. I said, you're a freaking scumbag. I'll never work for you again. You're not going to badmouth me. I said, oh yeah, I am. Everywhere I go, I'm going to tell them about you. I'm going to tell them not to work here anymore either. I'm gonna tell him you dropped the food and what you do too. Well, I let him have it too for a long time. But no, so I backed out, and they sent this poor guy out. They had a 4x4 spot they had filled with like uh, limestone rock. That sounds good. And we um we circled around and backed out, and the poor kid was coming up the door. He said, "Oh God." He turned around back in. He goes, "Hey boss, you're filling this hole. I'm tired of filling it in." He goes, "The hole is filled in." He goes, "Not anymore." He goes, "What do you mean?" I fucking sorry about language. I dug the entire rock bed out. I just ate every bit of it. I slung it through the parking lot, drove around. The kids come back to the door. I said, "My apologies, but yourself." And, and him and the boss is like, "Boy, you little whippersnapper. You're the one that's been doing it." I just pulled out of the parking lot, walked, rode down, and we went to the water and stuff. She looked at me, she goes, "Have you been doing this the whole time?" I said, "Yeah, but it's only been a little tire mark. Just, a little patch. That last time. It was fifth time up there, I'll let it have it. Now, I had Utero Liberator Kings with a big mud tread on there, with a V8 in there. I don't know what it's not there, but that choker will eat the wheels up real quick. When I say eat the wheels, it'll dig a foot rut with just barely pressing the gas a certain way. I just, the back tire just scooted all the way through the thing. When I say rocks, I slung it through the parking lot. Didn't hit no cars. I got the outside of the dumpster all through the woods and everything. We done something and come back past. They were still raking the parking lot up an hour later. They were still raking the rock to it. That poor boy out there, he thought he only had a patch that far outside of it. Had to go back and fill in. It potholes got gravel in it. Ain't got no gravel in it. I bumped my car. Oh boy. Yeah. I'll tell you about something. It was this douchewad. I call him douchewad. He was hunting club. He'd come down to public land. Now he could hunt private, but he wasn't allowed to hunt public. You can only do either one through the season. Well, he was switching back and forth. He'd go and shoot a bunch on public side, run back on the private side. So we watched this guy. He'd get out, go over the public side, boom, 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 shoot up all the area, just go through the woods shooting. We watched him do it, same guy, same truck vehicle. He had a little Nissan Frontier, little bitty truck, little 87 model, It might have been a Toyota Tacoma. A little Toyota, boy. It's a little small truck. He'd go out and go back and forth, run the deer. There, so he was pulled off in the woods. He was finally hunting. I let my stepdad drive. He's like, "I think payback's in store." Payback's in store. He goes, "You don't mind if I test your tires out, do you, son?" No, I don't care. Just don't tear them up. He's like, "No, it's only going to be mud." I'm like, "Mud, you say?" "Yes, son, mud." I said, I'm down with that. So he backed up in front of this gate. I'm kind of a mud hole you go through. He's like, boom, boom, just driving through. So, we'll wind up his car, truck, dang where he's going to come out. We sit there, we backed up, we ate them tires. Now every rotation, it's digging down 6 inches to a foot. Well, we did it till my bumper touched. Now mine set up on 15s, but I had lift kit, so we just got to dig even on further down to that bumper touch. Boom, we dug down a little more and we let off. So we brought it out. We got up, went down the road, sitting over there hunting. We're like, no, we went fishing. I had my rods in the back and some stuff. We over there fishing. We could see the place. We fishing. We watching the thing. The guy heard the little car turn around, well, gets out the gate. The gate creaked real bad when it opened. So we just watched. We didn't even care what's biting the rods going off. We just watched them. We're like, we see the lights come on, and we're boom, boom. What the hell is going on here? He's like, what is going on? I'm buried to the bumper and my tires ain't even touching. What is going on here? God dang it, what is going on? He's looking around. Me and my stepdad, we done went from looking to fishing again. We're like, we don't know nothing. See, when we got pulled over, the creek was there. We got my bucket out of our back and washed off the truck. So we was, hey man, come here. I don't help out hunting club, I'm sorry. I'm stuck. Bro, call one of your other hunting buddies. I'm stuck, you gotta help. I got no buddies, my phone's dead. Your phone's dead, you say? Yeah, phone's dead. Don't let the coyotes bite you while you're sleeping on the back of your truck. Have a good night. What? Have a good night. Don't let the skeeters and the coyotes bite you on. It's a night. What? Bye. Fired the truck guy and drove off. We went hunting the next day. He's still stuck. He finally walked out and come back. We was coming back out of hunting. We driving out and there's somebody finally pulling him out. And my stepdad's like, I'm gonna give you a fist bump on that one, son. I'm like, you did it. I'm like, it wasn't me. And he goes, no. He goes, but boy, he goes, I bet you that dude was madder than hell, son. Give us the knuckles on that. Boy, we were the uproar. We drove home and everything. We laughed for like 2 days off of the high, boy. They're like, what are you laughing at? We finally told somebody it got to laughing, boy. Every time we see the little Ford Ranger there, he'd get out, and if a little mud hole's there, he'll get out and prod the ground. He prod the ground. He was waiting for it again. We never done it again. You do it once, they're suspecting, or they'll put up a camera. But they never had a camera. They could only stay inside, you know. But nah, yeah. I taught him a lesson or two. You know, he never did creep back over on the public side until he shut that place down. See, he'd creep over it, and he never did anymore. See, he'd completely go down and shoot nowhere there. So he was seeing big 10 and 12 points, stuff like that. And he wanted the trophies kept over there because they could feed them with corn, but they were so far away from the water and there was no water holes there, so they'd have to go to the river. So we knew it. We could fish. We hunt and fish the river bank, which is so far in and so far down that it opens up to all our area, which we had to cut through and go down. Shit, we seen bacoodles of deer down there. We get one here, get one there, and some wouldn't move in. They got this heavily baiting. I mean heavy. I mean it had like every 40 yards was a tree stand. Here's a tree stand. It's all the way down 500 yards. You know, you can only shoot straight out front. You couldn't shoot off to the side or shoot the other way. You had to literally shoot straight in front of you. There, everybody filled that thing up. It had one down the road. You go down, it had a tree stand, and there's another one at the end. Then they had some up around there. Then it all flooded. They kept that place ate up. But the deer still had to come to the water. We knew it. 4.6, 0.8 points. We wasn't worried about the antler size. You know, the big body, whether it had, you know, barrel eagle horns on it, you know, but more meat, you know. They wanted trophies. They had to come back through, boy. I want to take y'all guys up there, but the only way to access it now is down by river, and I want to take you guys up there. I want to tell you guys about that. Me and my brother. I know some of y'all seen where that place is, where all the boats was. I tried to fish, and all the boats kept pulling up where the three tall things, and then one that's over around there that had there down the boat ramp, the tall black things with Mineral Springs. But if you drive down the river, you go, there's power lines over there. We used to camp up underneath it, and that's where all the hunting houses are. Well, they wind and they shut down that road access to it. But you can access by river only now. They across the thing, you're not allowed to hunt that little section no more. But you can go down them by boat. Well, we was fishing. We were eyeballing it for hunting season. You know, we pulled up, sat there beside the riverbank. We just pulled up beside it. I tied off to some things, and I happened to look back, and I told my brother, I said, "Do you see that? You see what?" I'm like, "Do you see that right there?" And my cousin, my nephew's like, "Yeah, I see that." And he's like, "Yeah, I see it." He turned around and he's like, "Yeah, I see it." He's like, "Are you seeing what I'm seeing?" He's like, I'm like, "I think so." I was like, "You seeing that white alligator laying right there, right?" "Yeah." I'm like, "We sure that's a white alligator?" "Yeah." We sit there fishing there. We fished there for a bit. Well, it come launching off the log to go into the water. I don't know, something spooked it. It launched off the log. My nephew like leaped off the side of the boat. I barely grabbed him from going over the water. He thought it was coming in the boat, and he was going over, boy. I had to hold him back, you know. It was hilarious. He wouldn't fish for a while. We were sitting there catching 5-10 pound channel cat and blue cat. We got one flathead to the boat, but he spit the hook. My nephew's finally, "I want to fish." Fish either side. Just drop straight down, you know. You don't have to throw out. He didn't have but a bluegill rig. We could have gave him, we let him reel in some catfish too, but he dropped his bluegill rig off the side. Dropped it down. He's sitting there and he's like, his arm was like digging, you know. He's like, "What's going on?" "What's going on?" I'm like, "Boy, pull, boy, pull." He's like, "What do you mean I'm real, boy, real?" You know, got it up, started splashing. I'm like, "You better get him over the side of the boat. You know that gator's down there." Oh yeah, he barely got him over the boat. Almost a 1 pound bluegill. It don't sound too big, but he only had him on a little dock demon. He dropped it off again. Big old shell cracker, a half pound to almost a pound shell cracker. We were catching some fish, you know, that big, that thick down there with the catfish. We threw off the other side. He'd catch a big bluegill. You know, some was like that. Okay to keep, but you know, just honestly, I throw him back, let him get bigger. You know, okay. Well, I don't want to keep a bunch of these shell crackers. I'm like, okay, fine, shell crackers. You can throw some back. You know, big ones, little ones, who care? We had enough fish in there anyways. We're just catching a few more. We throwing a lot of them back. We didn't even want them more. So we said, well, let's untie and drive down to Mineral Springs. It's a freshwater inlet that our freshest water's in. It comes out of a pipe. It flows out. Well, let's ride down there. We used to camp down there where they closed it off. People got down there trashing it, spinning it up, camping, shooting at people that was coming up. It was their area. It was their special dock. Nobody could get near that water. It was polluting it. Well, they banned everybody from there. Well, you can drive down there in like extreme emergencies. You can go through that way, but we rode down there. We're driving down the canal. It was gator here, gator there, gator. You know, just driving. My nephew wasn't paying attention. I was shining, watching the light. There was no logs, you know, just watching gator. And I was like, you know, we talked about it for well enough for my nephew. He wasn't paying attention. He's terrified of them, you know. Not like we ever let one get him, but we got down. We're like, well, let's see what deer are out. So I took and undone the small boat light with the green and white one and the white light up top to see. And so I put a big 4,000 lumen square LED light and stuck it up top. We took the the little round ones that are on the back, the white lights. We took it and replaced it with a square one of those to run the river with. But we also had it where you can run the green one too. So we driving, we turned, and there was a couple deer up there. My nephew's like, "What are those? There's some big bullfrog, buddy. Them are not bullfrog. They're not bullfrog." I'm like, "No. How's it going, MB? Sorry, I'm not bullfrog. I'm an alligator." We get to going, creeping back, big old head like that in the water. You know, some of them bigger, wider, you know, all different sizes. It's like, my brother's like, well, I'm going to go back the truck down and you pull the boat on. I'm like, all right. Let's pull the thing down. We got to going. And when I was reached out to pull myself the rest of the way up on there, we didn't fire up the boat. We just coasted on. We're not allowed to power on the boat. We can in extreme emergencies, but you did want you paddling on or coasting on. So we just I paddled on, went a wrench up, and I grabbed it and I pulled it to hold on, and I wrenched down in the water to grab the clip, the hook. I hooked on the front of the boat, and I was fixing to use the winch to winch the boat up. And I told my nephew, I said, you need to go to the back. I'm a little heavy. I said, just where to lift me up a little bit so I can winch, you know, just so I can swing over and step out as we're pulling out. I could finish rolling up the winch. Well, I reached down, was fixing the winch, and a little 4-footer came out the bottom of the boat. I'm like, oh, like Daddy's it was like gator. I didn't figure at the time there. Yeah, like they got trampled. He come all the way from the back all the way up. I'm like, whoa, whoa. I was like, it's just a little one. You know, I'm like, he's like, no, I'm a little scared. I was like, turn on more of the boat lights, which he had us surrounded boat lights. You know, those ones you could put around to make accent lights. Well, he got them around his boat, but they were white. So you can see the floor. You drop the fish, drop the hook, or tying something, you know, you didn't have to have a light in your face or light blinding somebody or something. So he had the bottom of it lit up with. He went over and hit all the switch to hit all the lights. Instead of the inside lights, that big bow light come on, which it was facing off to the side. Shoot, he seen a big old alligator. He wasn't having that. I barely got the boat winched up. We come flying. He dove towards me in the boat. Oh, that was a big old gator. I was like, how big was he? I don't know. He was huge. He said, only thing I know, his head was about like that wide, and his eyes were farther apart than I wanted to see. I'm out of here. He wasn't going. He almost didn't go no more. Hey, babe. How's it going? How's it going, Yoshi? You know, we got out. There, he's like, man, that was close. He goes, what's the biggest gator you guys seen on here? I said, on this portion of the river? I said, right there where you just seen him. She said, really? I said, yeah. I said, the base of his tail was that big around. It's fat, but it stayed that big around. It had at least 2 foot missing off of it. You see where it's something else bit the end of it off. And it had to be a pretty big gator to bite that much, or 2 foot of it, end of a tail off. Shooting it does still had at least a 8-foot tail on it. They're like, we was that night we seen that. We was with my sister-in-law, her brother, my son, and they pull up the car, you know, so we could see for a few more minutes. They walked up on the thing. You know, I pulled up at the end of the boat ramp and I creeped the car down so we could see the end of the landing at the water. And when it did, there was at least a 14-footer right there. He was up, he turned and swirled down there. I said, I'm all game for fishing, but not on the end of that boat ramp. I'll be honest. No, I said, do you understand? I said, about a 14-footer right there. What? Nah. Nah, nah. So I stayed fishing off over there. Like, really? You seen it? They stayed fishing on a little metal thing in the rocks over there. Yeah, yeah, I really did see it. I don't think you wouldn't lie to us about a gator, no. No, I won't lie to you. She's like, no, I believe him. But I kept my son in the car. I sat with him with the AC on. He got real bad mosquitoes and got humid and stuff. So I sat with him there for a bit. They're like, no, I guess nothing's biting. And there, we were leaving out, and I backed up a little bit, and I hit the water. He was sitting out there right in the middle of the landing area out there where he launched the boat. He was sitting out between those big pylons. I ain't seen him back down there. Which they've been having some gator hunts down there too, so I ain't seen him, but I've seen them all down the canals and stuff. We come rolling up in the daytime, but it'd be like no water up in one spot near that cedar tree. And he goes, "What's, man, that's a funny looking log." I said, "That's a 4-foot alligator. Oh, look at a cute little feller. Oh, hey, come here, buddy." I went, again, just messing with my nephew. He's like, and that gator, oh, I'm like, he's a cute little guy. Oh, wouldn't you look so good in a frying pan? About that time, that gator said, frying pan. He spun him a donut and shot off into the water. He's like, nah, I'm good. And my nephew goes, I want to pull the boat on. Okay. I was like, is it all right? I said, I'll keep a hold of the rope. Yeah, sure, okay. So he got out. We was sitting down. I was sitting down holding the boat, and he was getting ready. He coasted over. I told him, hey, paddle out in the middle. Sit right here at this section. He goes, this good? I said, yeah. I said, he's going to back down in the water. As you see the trailer hit the water, start paddling. So it won't give you no more momentum, push you back. And that way you build it to get on the boat trailer. So he started paddling as it come up. I said, oh, man. But see, he forgot to paddle, and the boat drifted back. I said, oh, man, I dropped the rope. I was standing on the rope. I got him to paddle real quick. That's the fastest I ever seen that boy paddle. He's like, I was like, oh, man, I dropped the boat. He's like, I'm going to drift off. I'm going to drift off. Oh, God. He started paddling real fast, and he started cruising up to the boat. I said, oh, that's all. Oh, wait. I was standing on it. My bad. I lifted it up, and I got him over the railing, and I pulled him on. You look, you gave me a heart attack. You look, you gave me a heart attack. I'm like, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. He goes, man, I like to knock the back end straight. You done that, and I see him doing that, and I got to laughing back at him. He said, I seen you standing on the rope, boy. He said, I'd done it to him before, but he goes, I ain't ever told nobody. I was like, yeah, I had to. An uncle's got to do it scared sometime. When I pulled him on, he hooked it up and everything and got out. I threw the rope to him in there. I can't believe you're doing that. Well, he pulled on the boat a few more times. We went fishing, and he got out the boat. He's like, I want to paddle the boat on here. I'm like, no. I said, this water's kind of swift here. I said, I got to unhook and paddle around pretty fast because the current sucks you back right here. I said, you got to go out in the current, but you got to be strong enough to paddle back. I said, buddy, you're not strong enough yet. No, there. So I got the paddle. It was dark. I unhooked the rope, but I didn't see part of it hooked inside of the between two boards. So I got the paddling real good. I got all the way on the boat, and something drug me back. I'm like, what the heck? I had to cord over the thing that drug me back again. I would get the paddle real hard. I put it all into it. I got up there and I grabbed on the thing, and then it started dragging the boat out underneath me. So I let go and went back on the boat. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I see the rope like going towards the water. I'm like, yo. I said, hey, can you see any of that rope? So he's like, let me go out on the dock. Your part. I said, I'm gonna give it one last shot. So I get to going, and he happened to see a little bit of rope hung between the thing. He said, man, I don't know. That the rope? Man, I said, man, it feels like a gator stuck at the back. Boy, I put them all in there. He undone the rope. I took on her. He's like, no, you're stuck between the dock. Man, I said, I was thinking a gator done had the end of the rope. Every time I get up, he'd be hooked on him or something. No, you were just hooked on the dock. Well, I was freaking out a little bit. I was like, every time I get on, get about hooked, and it drag me back off, My nephew laughed for about 30 minutes in the truck. He goes, it ain't so funny now, is it, to be hooked off to something and taking on the drift away? I said, I wasn't worried about drifting away. I was worried about the gator not letting go on the rope. I said, that's a big gator down there. It usually stays down there. And I've seen him. He's about 10 foot. Yeah. I said, I thought I was hooked on him, And just, every time I took off, it startled him, No, I was just hooked in the dock. He laughed for 30 minutes. Haha, you got tricked by the thing. Saw it. So we went out, was doing something. Doing that, so I got him good. I got to take a pee. We was hunting. I just hid for a second. We got up there, I'd sneak away like you never even knew I was there. I disappeared. He's like, oh, you reckon we've seen any deer? He turned around, you reckon we'll see any deer? Oh, fuck. Well, holy crap. Oh my God, what's going on? I'm alone? Oh man, he done run off and left for laughing at him. I stayed behind the tree for a few seconds. Oh God, I wonder if I can figure my way out of here. I'll better start heading out now. My little legs can't take me out. I got to laughing. I didn't fall over. I rolled out beside the tree. I got to laughing. I said, it ain't so funny now, is it? Hey, Shree. And I said, it ain't so funny now to think you were alone, is it? I shouldn't have laughed at you. He's like, I'm sorry for laughing at you. I said, no, I just had to do it. He walked like 10 feet and there was like a big tree and had a big base on it. So I stood sideways. I was just standing on the other side, I couldn't hold laughing and I rolled down on the ground laughing. That was hilarious. Well, I thought I had to walk out of here alone. I said, do you think you could have found your way out? He goes, I don't know. He goes, I had to run straight screaming. He said, I had to run screaming the whole time. I'm like, you run screaming the whole time? He goes, yeah. I figured if you were that far ahead of me, you hear me screaming, you might come back for me. He goes, I know to go straight, which he was right, dead straight, and turn over and turn, which he could have went dead straight. But he hit a little water hole before he got out. But yeah, he'd have been right. I didn't leave him. I wouldn't have left him at all. We sitting down here, we'd talk about a whole mess of junk. But we was sitting out hunting the last time me and him hunted. My brother. We're sitting out in kind of an open up beneath a tree. I'm talking about like I am now. I was like, I'm going to keep an eye out for that. I said, don't mind if we talk. Ask questions, whatever, just whatever you need to know, I'm good. We can talk just as loud as we are now and just no louder. We got a little louder. We got the laughing and everything. And we got going towards dark. And I was sitting there, I was like, I was like, shh, for a second. And I looked ahead of me and I seen 4 feet and coming through the bottom of the bushes. I said, buddy, I don't know them or buck or them or doe. I had my 30-30 and he had his little shotgun, his 12 gauge. I was like, you know the rule. You shoot the one on the left and I shoot the one on the right. Because like he used to crossfire, Because you shoot the ones closer to you in there. We sit there and two, just legal length, big body buck. They had a little small 4 points at the top. He's like, I don't know if they're big enough. I said, those are big enough? I said, we're going to shoot them. I said, let him get a little closer. A little bit closer. Just a little bit closer. I stay talking to him kind of like this. Just a little closer. Just a little closer. Calm down. I'm talking to myself by now. Shh. Calm down. Hold yourself steady. Remember to pull the rifle easy, you know. My nephew's like, all right. Wait, I got a shotgun. It's okay. Just stay calm. Well, one come out and come way closer. It walked behind a tree and he was looking at my nephew because my nephew was like 4 foot away from me. And I was sitting there and I was like, mine stayed back about off of my side about 10 foot. And the slightly smaller one stayed behind the tree. I was like, he's like, I can't get a shot. I won't be able to shoot. I'm like, okay, that's fine. You're not capable of shooting. One's good enough. So the deer turned its head, I raised the gun. Deer turned its head, and I raised the gun. Deer turned its head, raised the gun. It got about shoulder height. That deer said, huh? And it flinched. I was like, oh God, did it see me move? Well, I looked back, and I hit the hammer back. It was done loaded, and I was like, it looked back one more time, and it gave me that full shoulder draw length and time to put that bead on her. 15 yards. Shot right through the side, you know. I heard double lung puncture, you know. Boom. I was like, I'll ease the gun down. One said, oh crap, flipped him a U-turn, and he shot off. I kept dying to want a shot. And I tried to easily but quietly load the lever on it, and it wouldn't do it. So, what's going on, David? And it kind of hung for a second. I'm like, dang it. And I dumped the other shell out, and I was able to get it closed. And he goes, he raised his gun up. The deer stayed looking at us while I was already shot, you know. He was there, he was watching us, but I got another time I got another good bead on him. My nephew's like, I can shoot too. I said, well, if we can both shoot, you know, both pull the trigger. I said, buddy, you got buckshot in there. I'm going to let you know it's going to hurt a little bit. It's worth it. It's worth it. And by the time my brother, he was about 75 yards out, but the deer was slightly closer to him. So he stood up to shoot. When he stood up, when he went to click the hammer, he heard the click and the deer took off. We looked for freaking 2 hours past dark that day, went back the next day, looked all morning long, looked all that afternoon, couldn't find it. When he clicked there, it gave it an adrenaline rush. And it was through down a little open area into the creek, and it went to more people over there. And we could hear the people talking. They were know the people, so they evidently got the deer. So my nephew's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, sorry for what? You shot a nice buck, and we didn't get to claim it. I said, stuff like that happens, buddy. I said, it happens like that. Oh, okay. Well, I understand. I was like, we gave it a day and 2 hours, you know. We looked all day. It was 32 degrees. It was good and cool out. All that night got down to like 20s. The high was less than 32, so it was good and cold. But we looked, scanned the field, scanned all through the woods and everything. Never found it. When the people was there, we didn't hear them after. We didn't hear the deer enter the water, but I guess he made it through there, but the people didn't come back. So he's like, dang it, we sat there a couple more days hoping the other one or another one come out. But the last day of the open season for that area, it got past shooting light. We was coming out and come up the hill. We flipped this U-turn, was driving out. And on the side road that was coming, he was fixing across the road over to us, was a big 12 point. If it wouldn't have been end of shooting light in there, and we would have been able to give it another 10-15 minutes, the deer would have walked right to us. He waited till us to pass. He crossed over and went right straight down through there. there was no car, so we stopped and he went straight down into right there where he was. He wasn't too far off into the woods. So I'm like, dang it. He's like, they get away like that, don't they? My nephew's like, if we only had 20 more, if we only had 20 more minutes, it'd have been worth it. I'm like, yeah, it would have been, wouldn't it? Because that would have replaced our small one. Because it had the same size body, but didn't have a rack. So, buddy, I said, don't worry about a rack. I said, I want the meat. It's big enough to feed, split in half, feed up both of us. He's like, which I told him if we got one with him, I'd give him the rack on that. And I was like, there. So we've seen a couple of 10 points. They never got close. We sit out in the open, not moving, talking, and shoot. We see deer all the time. He's like, I sit with Dad. We see deer. They'll get close, but I'm not allowed to talk. He goes, me and you see deer talking. We still see deer. Well, yep. He's like, huh. I'm like, that worked for me. What time is it? I don't want to hold nobody up past their bedtimes. 10 o'clock their time, so. Well, 10 o'clock there, 11 o'clock there. Yeah, I reckon I'll let you guys go. I don't want to hold everybody up. I'll go live Saturday or Sunday, I'm not sure. I might try to go Saturday so some people can get on that might be working or what. Or Sunday, I don't know. I'll post tomorrow when I decide. I do got to mow a yard in the afternoon, so plug everything up. Appreciate everybody for coming in. Alan, Karen, Trudge, free donations. The rest of y'all, appreciate it. Y'all gonna stay awesome. Appreciate it for the 43 awesome likes. Storm's here again. Dang. I don't like storms, really. I mean, I don't mind them, but but in the back of my head, I know if something was bad enough to come through, it could like tear up the house. Then you have nowhere to go if you don't have insurance. Insurance is higher than hell around here, so. But appreciate everybody listening to me yammer. Just loud thunder, yeah. Yeah, like the other day was, boy, that was some fun. It was fun until the purple lightning come out. I'm like, nah, I'm not pushing my luck. I'm good. I'm like, I'm good. But yeah, y'all have a good night. I'm not gonna keep anybody up. I know I'm probably not, but they gotta get into bed too, so. Scooby-Doo! Briggy, where are you? Sorry. Appreciate everybody. Peace. See you guys Saturday or Sunday.